I was transmigrated into a novel as the aggrieved male lead. The moment I opened my eyes, I was back at the scene where I saw my wife entering a hotel with another man. Suddenly, a stream of comments appeared before my eyes. The aggrieved protagonist is getting suspicious. Time for an investigation. The little turtle is starting his game of emotional push and pull. He's a total masochist. In the end, he'll find out it was all a misunderstanding and regret his suspicion. The female lead is pitiful too, forced to deceive the protagonist to uncover the truth. I scoffed. I'm not the original protagonist. Who wants to investigate? This old man has no desire to know the truth. She has a sob story? Then why doesn't she just say it? Watching my wife and the man walk into the hotel, I remained perfectly calm and dialed 911. 911, I'd like to report an incident of prostitution. Chapter 1. I hung up the phone with a shrug. Investigate? Emotional turmoil? Suffer? Ha! In your dreams. But the screen of light before my eyes exploded. Not like fireworks, but with so many words they blurred into a mess, scrolling at a frantic pace. WTF, he called the cops? Are you insane? Protagonist, calm down. OMG, is he nuts? She's a corporate spy. Do you understand what a corporate spy is? Person above explained the female lead went to the hotel to steal confidential data from the antagonist's company. She was pretending to make a deal. Get it? It's all for your family's company, you idiot protagonist. The antagonist wants to ruin you. It's just an act, all an act. Her heart belongs only to you. Cancel the call quickly or the female lead will be exposed. Is this how the plot is supposed to go? How is he ever going to win her back? It's ruined, from aggrieved to brain dead. I can't with this plot. The words scrolled by furiously, red, green, blue, a dense wall of text. They were all cursing me, panicking, and dropping spoilers. I crossed my arms, leaned against my car door, and coolly watched the chaotic screen. Oh, a corporate spy, stealing data, all an act, for my family's company, for me. I curled my lip into a deeply disdainful sneer. So what? I thought to myself. What's it got to do with me? I'm not the original protagonist, keeping secrets, playing Mission Impossible, and staging a scene in a hotel room with another man. Who's the show for? For me, the aggrieved protagonist, so I can be torn apart by jealousy, doubt myself, and writhe in agony? She wishes I rolled my eyes and waited downstairs for the police with great interest. Why should I investigate the truth? And then what? Burst into tears, grovel and repent? Feel like I'm less than human for doubting her? Then stage some cheesy soap opera scene where I cry, "Honey, I was wrong, you did it all for me. I'm so moved." Bleck, I made an exaggerated gagging motion. Save it, too much work. I glanced at the still, frenzied barrage of comments, my mind filled with contempt. Stop playing God from your high horse, acting all high and mighty. So what if she has a sob story? Does a sob story give you a license to hurt people? Do I have to play along with her melodrama just because she's suffering, and be grateful for it? I snorted. Who made that rule? You spectators who just love to watch a train wreck. I have only one rule in life: make myself happy. If something makes me unhappy, I don't do it. If someone makes me unhappy, I stay away. If a plot makes me unhappy, I flip the whole damn table. Just as I was thinking this, police sirens wailed in the distance. The sound grew closer and closer. The barrage instantly filled with howls of despair. The cops are really here. It's over, we're toast. Female lead, run, though I know she can't. The protagonist loves her so much, he's just angry right now. He'll definitely regret this later. Protagonist, I hate you. The award for the protagonist who screwed over his wife the most goes to... A commotion erupted at the hotel entrance. Before long, I saw my long-suffering wife, along with that greasy-haired pretty boy, being escorted out by several grim-faced police officers. Victoria Ashton's face was ashen. She looked in my direction, her eyes a chaotic mix of emotions: shock, anger, grievance, and a sliver of incredulous despair. The antagonist, Ethan Vance, just looked dazed and utterly screwed. The barrage went quiet for a second before erupting with even more intensity. OMG, they were actually arrested. Are you happy now, protagonist? The look in the female lead's eyes, my heart is breaking. But for real, the protagonist seems like he genuinely doesn't care. He's still smiling, the devil. I was indeed smiling, quite brightly in fact. I even gave them a little wave and mouthed, "Good show." The police car sped away with a screech of tires. The world was quiet. That screen of light was still putting up a dying struggle. "You don't regret this at all? You're not worried one bit? Your family's company is really going to be finished. The female lead might go to jail." I closed my car door and slammed my foot on the gas. The sports car roared to life and shot forward, leaving the hotel, the trouble, and that noisy screen of light all behind me. Investigate? Suffer? Heartbreak? Whoever wants to star in that show can have it, being blissfully single. Now that's the life. Chapter 2. I had just finished drafting the divorce agreement when the police called telling me to pick up Victoria Ashton and take her home. Victoria was standing at the entrance of the police station. Her hair was a bit messy, her face still pale, and her eyes were red as if she'd been crying. When she saw my car, her eyes flickered and she hurried over. I had barely rolled down the window before she gripped the edge, her voice laced with urgency and grievance. "Hubby, let me explain. It's not what you think with Ethan Vance. He's just a business partner. We were discussing a very important project, really, please." "Believe me," she spoke quickly, as if afraid I wouldn't listen. Her eyes held that familiar look of panic and pleading. The barrage immediately went wild. Yes, explain quickly. Protagonist, believe her, it's all for your family. He loves her so much he'll definitely forgive her. Look how haggard she is, and it's all for you. The misunderstanding is cleared up. Hug your wife. Please, no more angst." I listened to her explanation with a blank expression, feeling absolutely nothing. In fact, I kind of wanted to laugh. Business partners? Discussing a project by walking into a hotel with your fingers intertwined? That must have been a very in-depth discussion. Are you done?" I asked coolly. Victoria froze, likely not expecting this reaction. She nodded subconsciously. "Well, yes, I'm done." "All right." I nodded, reached into the glove compartment, pulled out a document and shoved it through the window into her hands. "Sign it." Victoria looked down. Her pupils instantly dilated, and her voice cracked. A divorce agreement?" Without even looking at her, I stated flatly, "Sign it, and I'll have my lawyer handle the proceedings with you." "Why?" she shrieked, staring at me in disbelief. "Just because of this misunderstanding today? Didn't I just explain? Misunderstanding?" I snorted, took out my phone, unlocked it, and shoved the screen in her face. On the screen was a crystal-clear image from the hotel's security camera. High definition, uncensored. In the frame, Victoria and that Ethan Vance were walking through the revolving door side by side. The key detail, their hands were clasped, fingers intertwined in a manner that was nothing short of intimate. Victoria even had a hint of a shy smile on her face. An act! What a dedicated performance. Victoria's face went deathly pale in an instant. Her lips trembled and she couldn't utter a single word. She looked even worse than when the police had taken her away. The barrage also went silent for half a second, followed by an even more frantic bombardment. Intertwined fingers? WTF. Does acting really require that much realism? But still, the female lead was doing it for the mission. Can't you be a little more magnanimous, protagonist? It was just an act. Exactly, she did it all to help your family. Have you no conscience? You're hurting her now, but you will be the one crying and begging for her back later. Get ready for the world's most epic apology tour. Let's see how long you can act tough. For God's sake, your family's company really needs that data. I looked at Victoria's bloodless face, then glanced at the indignant, guilt-tripping comments above my head, and found the whole situation utterly ridiculous. Misunderstanding? I pointed at the phone screen. An intertwined fingers misunderstanding? Such a realistic performance? The Oscars owe you two a golden statuette. Victoria clutched the divorce agreement, her knuckles white. Her body trembled slightly and tears finally fell. Her eyes filled with despair and accusation as she looked at me. Too bad it didn't stir a single emotion in me. Contact my lawyer when you've signed. His number is on the document. I pointed to the agreement and continued. As for the assets, we'll follow the agreement. I can't be bothered to fight over it, just sign it quickly. Don't delay my trip to an island to sunbathe. Chapter 3. Victoria clutched the agreement, tears streaming down her face as she stared at me. The barrage was still going. Don't cry. Female lead, he doesn't understand your sacrifice. Jerk, heartless animal. Get ready for the groveling. Just as I was about to hit the gas and escape into blessed silence, another voice cut in oily and feigning sincerity. Mr. Donovan, it's a misunderstanding. Please don't overthink it. Ethan Vance had walked over. He looked earnest, his brows furrowed. A perfect picture of a concerned, mature man. "It's not what you think." He glanced at the weeping Victoria beside him and continued, "Ms. Ashton and I have a purely professional relationship. We were at the hotel today to discuss the details of a very, very important project. We are completely innocent." He paused, then sighed with feigned helplessness. "Perhaps some of our actions caused a misunderstanding, and for that I apologize, but it was all for work. It would be a shame if it damaged your marriage." Listen to that, what a master of words. The barrage immediately chimed in. "Look at how magnanimous Mr. Vance is. Protagonist, you should learn from him. That's what you call class. Mr. Vance has explained it all. Protagonist, just take the olive branch. Female lead, back him up," as if grasping a lifeline. Victoria nodded frantically. Yes, Mr. Vance is right, hubby. It was really for work. The project is almost complete. It's very important to the group work." "A project?" I leaned back in my seat, watching this pair of star-crossed lovers perform their duet in front of my car. The plot from the original novel, which I'd read before transmigrating, flashed through my mind. Ethan Vance knew from the very beginning that Victoria was a corporate spy. He was simply playing a game of cat and mouse. He was deliberately stringing Victoria along, giving her just enough to keep her hooked, without ever letting her get the real data. Every so-called in-depth discussion was a carefully designed trap, intended to deepen the misunderstanding of me, the aggrieved protagonist, drive a wedge between us, and ultimately destroy Donovan Corp so he could reap the benefits. Sacrifice. A sob story? A pair of con artists, one a self-righteous fool, the other a snake in the grass, looking at Ethan's utterly hypocritical face, listening to his seemingly sincere but actually inflammatory bullshit. I smiled. An explanation? Emotional turmoil? Play along with your pathetic love triangle? You wish. The aggrieved protagonist in the original novel believed their lies time and again, launching investigation after investigation. He was tormented and miserable, a spineless wimp who barely resembled a man. But I'm not the original protagonist. I shoved the car door open, the movement so fast it created a gust of wind. Before anyone could react, I grabbed a handful of the front of Ethan Vance's expensive-looking suit. "You, huh?" The fake smile on Ethan's face instantly froze, replaced by astonishment. "Sincere, what are you doing?" Victoria shrieked. The barrage exploded. "WTF, what's the protagonist doing? Is he going to hit him? That's going too far. Calm down, man. This is a civilized society. It's over. It's over. The plot is completely out of control." I ignored them completely, dragging Ethan like a sack of garbage straight into a quiet, deserted alley next to the police station. "Sincere, are you crazy? Let me go." Ethan finally sensed the danger and began to struggle, his voice cracking. Victoria tried to follow, but a single icy glare from me pinned her to the spot. In the alley, I released his collar, cracked my knuckles, and swung a fist thwack. It landed squarely on his prized, handsome face. "Ah," Ethan cried out, stumbling back while clutching his face. Blood gushed from his nose instantly. The barrage went nuts. He hit him. He actually hit him. WTF, the protagonist is unhinged. Good hit, whispering, "Don't say that assault is illegal." I lunged forward, delivering a vicious kick to his stomach. Oof! Ethan doubled over like a shrimp, nearly vomiting up his breakfast. He couldn't even scream anymore, only managing pained grunts. Snot and tears smeared across his face, erasing any trace of the elite gentleman from moments before. "Misunderstanding?" I slammed him to the ground like a broken duffel bag and looked down at him, curled up like a dying maggot. "Me hitting you is also a misunderstanding right now. I can't stand the sight of you, so I want to beat you up. This is for your own good, too. Get it?" I crouched down, patting his face, now covered in dust and blood. My voice was low but crystal clear. "Victoria, I don't want her anymore. She's all yours, but from now on you'd better not show your face around me." I leaned close to his ear and added in a sinister whisper, "I see you, I hit you. Every single time. I'll even book you a year-long, very important person bed at the hospital. Understand?" Ethan was trembling like a leaf, his eyes filled with nothing but terror. He scrambled backward, nodding frantically, unable to speak. I stood up, shook my slightly numb hand, and straightened my perfectly neat collar. I walked out of the alley. Victoria stood there, her hands covering her mouth, her eyes wide as saucers. She looked at me with a mixture of unfamiliarity and fear, as if she were seeing me for the first time. The barrage had completely crashed, a blank screen. After a few seconds, a few stray comments drifted by. Holy crap. Violent aesthetics? So the protagonist is the unhinged type. I'm a little confused. What happened to being aggrieved? What happened to the push and pull? Shouldn't he investigate first? I glanced at Victoria. She flinched back in fear. The agreement. I pointed to the paper, now nearly crumpled beyond recognition in her hand. Don't forget to sign. Then, without another look at the pathetic heap on the ground that was Ethan Vance, I walked straight to my car. As I passed Victoria, I tossed one last sentence over my shoulder. Want to report me for him? Be my guest. The police station is right across the street. Victoria shook her head violently, her face whiter than paper. I opened the door and got in. The barrage finally recovered and started scrolling again. He really hit him right in front of the female lead. Poor Ethan Vance. But for some reason, that was kind of satisfying. The protagonist has completely let loose. This plot direction. I am officially hooked. I started the engine, and the sports car let out a low growl. Behind me, there was only dead silence and two people who were completely and utterly stunned. Chapter 4. I had just driven 2 blocks when my phone buzzed again. A quick glance at the caller ID, my dear mother. Tisk, what a pain, I answered. Hello, Mom? Sincere, you little brat, where are you? My mom's voice was frantic, a full-on interrogation from the get-go. What's wrong with Victoria? She called me crying her eyes out, said you want a divorce. Were you bullying her again? Huh? I'm telling you, if you dare to divorce her, I'll disown you. The barrage instantly came back to life. Uh-oh, the mother-in-law has arrived. The protagonist's mom knows the real story. Go on, let his mom teach him a lesson. Mom, tell him the truth. Protagonist's mom, son, your wife is a spy. For our family, apologize now. I let out a sneer. Knows the real story. In the original novel, my mom not only knew Victoria was a spy, she helped cover for her, under the noble guise of understanding her difficult situation. They kept me, the aggrieved son, completely in the dark. I bullied her. My tone was icy. Mom, I think you've got the wrong person. Your daughter-in-law is quite capable, you know. Walking into a hotel with another man, fingers intertwined, to discuss a project. Then getting an invitation from the police to have tea. That's quite a scene. I don't have the skills to bully someone like that. There was a pause on the other end. My mom lowered her voice, a hint of urgency in it. You know? Well, you still can't do this. Victoria has her reasons. She did it all for our family, for the company your father left behind. If your father knew... Stop right there, I cut off her emotional blackmail. Reasons? What damn reasons for our family? For my dad? Did anyone ask me, did I agree to this? Who gave her the right to run off and play act in a hotel room with another man, all under the banner of, it's for my own good, and holding hands so intimately? What a dedicated performance. Don't you dare try to guilt-trip me. Barrage. Protagonist's mom, explain. This is killing me. Just say it. This protagonist doesn't care about anything. My mom got flustered. You child, how can you be so unreasonable, Victoria? She had no choice, she's suffering. She did all of this to get the evidence Ethan Vance has to save the company. Why can't you just appreciate her sacrifice? Sacrifice, I laughed. Sacrificing herself to the point of holding hands with another man in a hotel room? That's one hell of a sacrifice. Should I give her a medal for her service? Maybe build her a monument? My words left her choking. How can you talk like that? Victoria is innocent. Nothing happened between her and Ethan Vance. It was just an act. Do you understand acting? Oh, I understand perfectly. My voice dripped with sarcasm. The two of you, a perfect pair. One plays the tragic spy, the other plays the understanding mother-in-law. A seamless performance. And you kept it all from me, the unreasonable son. You watched me tear my hair out, watched me get played for a fool, watched me run around like an idiot, completely manipulated by you both. My voice turned cold. Mom, you lied to your own son for a daughter-in-law. Your motherly love is truly profound. The other end of the line went completely silent. All I could hear was heavy breathing. The barrage was quiet too, probably stunned by my blasphemous words. After a few seconds, my mom's voice returned, laced with fatigue and a hint of guilt she couldn't hide. Sincere. Mom just didn't want you to worry. The company's situation is complicated. Victoria, that's enough. I cut her off again. I don't care about the company. If it goes bankrupt, so be it. As for your precious daughter-in-law, I paused, my tone firm and resolute. The divorce agreement, she'll sign it whether she wants to or not. I'm not wearing this cuckold's hat anymore, and one more thing, I added, my voice thick with irony. Since you understand her so well, since you feel so sorry for her, then you go ahead and comfort your innocent, self-sacrificing, wonderful daughter-in-law. I, the unreasonable and ungrateful son, won't get in your way anymore. Apologize? I scoffed, speaking to the phone and to the silent barrage. Maybe in my next life. Oh, by the way, I threw in one last parting shot. If you really feel that bad for her, if you think I've wronged her so much, you can just adopt her as your daughter. Because I don't want this wife anymore. Anyone who wants her can have her with that. Before my mom could explode, I hung up. The world was once again briefly quiet. The barrage finally came back to life. He even talks back to his own mother. He's disowning everyone. He really doesn't care if the company lives or dies. Victoria is truly miserable. Even her mother-in-law knowing the truth is useless. Protagonist, when I go crazy, I even chew out my own mom. This divorce is happening. It seems like he's annoyed with everyone. I casually tossed the phone onto the passenger seat. Apologize? For a wife who deceived me? For a mother who helped her deceive me? For a nearly bankrupt company that I barely care about? Ha! The word apologize doesn't exist in my dictionary, especially not to liars. Chapter 5. When I got back to the company, just as I was about to enter my office, I noticed someone in Victoria's office next door. The barrage, sharper than my own eyes, instantly flooded the screen. Here it comes, the famous scene, selling popcorn, drinks, and peanuts in the front row. Mr. Vance seems pretty skilled at putting his arm around her waist, huh? Victoria's about to slap him in 3, 2, 1. Ethan Vance had his arm around Victoria, trying to kiss her. Victoria was pushing him away with all her might. I clicked my tongue. Really? During work hours in the company hallway? Are they rehearsing? I couldn't be bothered to take a detour, nor did I care to watch. I knew the original plot. Ethan threatens Victoria, saying he'll expose the evidence against the protagonist if she doesn't submit. Victoria, for the sake of love, agrees. Just as something is about to happen, the protagonist appears and the misunderstanding deepens. But the current me was in no mood to play along. Hands in my pockets, I walked straight toward my office. I didn't break my stride or even glance in their direction. I treated them like two rather unattractive potted plants in the hallway. Sincere Victoria's voice was tearful and loud, with impressive projection. She shoved Ethan away forcefully and stumbled towards me. Let me explain, it's not what you think. I stopped and tilted my head to look at her. The barrage chimed in right on cue. The classic line, better late than never. Victoria, I can still be saved. Protagonist, no, just get in the coffin. Given the protagonist's personality, of course he'll forgive her. She was forced into it, she didn't actually do anything. But they did hug, and the antagonist's hand was on her. The drama is here, can't wait to see the protagonist's reaction. It's going to be epic. Explain? I raised an eyebrow. My voice wasn't loud, but it was crystal clear, every word dripping with impatience. To me? I pointed to my own nose, then at Ethan, who was still standing there. Finally, my finger went past her shoulder, pointing precisely at the end of the hall, toward the brightly lit 5-star hotel across the street, a place that clearly wasn't for legitimate business meetings. There, my tone was light. Need a venue for your explanation? Across the street, hotel, open 24/7. Rooms by the hour, king-size beds, presidential suites, they have it all. I even managed a smile, one that couldn't have been more fake. You probably get a discount if you use Mr. Vance's name, right? If not, I'm sure Mr. Vance's credit card will work just fine. As I spoke, I flicked my finger, as if flicking away a piece of dust. I didn't have a card in my hand, but the gesture was perfect. That was like him flicking one of those sleazy hotel business cards. Use Mr. Vance's name for a discount. Who is he dissing here? Protagonist, I've even picked out the spot for you two. Aren't I thoughtful? Victoria's face went white in a flash. She was so stunned she forgot to cry, probably out of rage. Her lips trembled as she tried to speak, but nothing came out. Ethan's face darkened, his eyes fixed on me with a sinister glare. A workplace. I dropped the fake smile, my tone as cold as ice chips as I pointed to the polished floor. Is for making money. It's not a stage for your little embraces. My gaze swept over them both, finally landing on Victoria's face, which was etched with grievance and disbelief. If you're really that thirsty, find another place. Don't dirty the company's floor. With that, I turned and walked away without a hint of hesitation, my steps long and steady. Damn vicious, so vicious, a critical hit to the soul. The female lead's health bar is empty. Mr. Vance, I feel personally attacked. Protagonist, precision strike, no survivors. The moment I got back to my office, my assistant, Peter Collins, rushed over, clutching a document. His face was paler than the paper. Mr. Donovan, he stammered. You have to see this. I took the document, glanced at it, and almost laughed out loud. It read in bold letters, Sincere Donovan, you have been stripped of all your shares and will no longer hold any position in this company, effective immediately. If you do not apologize to Victoria Ashton, you will be expelled from the company. Ha! My mother certainly works fast. I casually tossed the document aside and patted Peter's shoulder. You can get back to work. Don't mind me. Peter scurried away as if granted a royal pardon. The barrage instantly exploded. WTF, the protagonist was stripped of his shares? This plot is insane. What is the protagonist's mom trying to do? Protagonist, let's see how Sincere Donovan survives without any shares. Time to grovel for your wife. Let's see what you do now. Ha ha. I walked to the window, looked out at the bustling city below, and a cold smile touched my lips. No shares? I murmured to myself. Perfect. I'm finally free of all this trouble. I have knowledge, a degree, and experience. Most importantly, I still have my father's inheritance chase after my wife. Like hell I will. Chapter 6. As I was leaving my office, I saw the two of them still arguing, so I paused. The barrage instantly fell silent, as if holding a collective breath. Oh, by the way, I slowly turned back, my gaze fixed on Ethan Vance's face. I strode toward him, my leather shoes clicking sharply on the marble floor like a death knell. Ethan's back was against the wall, his Adam's apple bobbing as sweat broke out on his forehead. The barrage began to predict the outcome. Danger, Mr. Vance, run! The protagonist's expression is terrifying. Is someone about to die? I stopped 3 feet away from him and tilted my head with a smile. Mr. Vance, is your memory failing you? What did I say last time? My left hand slowly undid my cufflink, while my right hand was already rotating at the wrist. Ethan's lips trembled. Mr. Donovan, it was a misunder. See you once, beat you once. I cut him off and suddenly launched a sweeping kick thud. My size 10 leather shoe connected precisely with his stomach, the force sending him flying back 6 feet. Ethan crashed into the water cooler with a loud bang. The large water jug rolled away as he curled up on the floor, coughing his lungs out. The barrage exploded like fireworks. Holy crap, a flying kick! Mr. Vance, am I a fucking punching bag? Has the protagonist unlocked a new violent aesthetic? I stepped over the puddle of water, crouched down and patted his face, which was now swollen like a pig's head. Your very important person hospital bed is waiting. Neurology and proctology. I'll get you the full package deal. As I stood up, I swiped the Maserati keys from his pocket and tossed them to the stunned receptionist, Jessica Miller. Move this car. If he ever parks in our lot again, call a tow truck company directly. The barrage was dying of laughter, adding insult to injury. Mr. Vance just got stripped down to his underwear, ha ha ha. I whistled as I entered the elevator, Victoria's tearful shriek echoing behind me. Hubby, let me explain. Just as the elevator doors closed, I gave them a friendly international hand gesture. On the way home, while waiting at a red light, my phone vibrated 38 times, all from my mother. The last one was a voice message that I opened to a roar. Get your ass back here right now, I scoffed, cranked the steering wheel to the right, and headed straight for the Donovan family estate. The moment I pushed the door open, a crystal glass flew past my ear and shattered against the wall. My mother stood on the staircase, trembling with rage. You will not divorce Victoria, or I won't give you a single share. I bent down, picked up a shard of glass, and toyed with it, a lazy grin on my face. Your aim is a little off. How about I sign you up for a seniors dart league? The barrage was going wild with commentary. His own mom turned into a wicked stepmother. Was the protagonist adopted? This family drama just turned into an action movie. My mother froze, then suddenly switched to playing the victim. Sincere, Mom is doing this for your own good. Your father passed away so young, the company Stop, I held up a hand. If you really cared about me, you'd cough up my father's inheritance. I pulled out my phone, opened the calculator, and started tapping away. His will was very clear. 15 of the shares plus 2 villas, which comes to about 580 million. I'll forget the change. Give me 500 million. I want the funds transferred in 3 days. My mother stared at me as if she'd seen a ghost. The barrage was shocked. Damn, he's a math whiz, a son collecting a debt from his own mother, live. Mrs. Donovan's CPU just fried. Taking advantage of her stunned silence, I grabbed a set of car keys from the entryway and headed out. At the door, I turned back with a wide grin. If you don't pay, that's fine too. I'll be back tomorrow with 8 lawyers. Let's see if that's enough to dig up all the dirt on your precious daughter-in-law. The barrage was in an absolute frenzy. The counterattack. Mother and son are now enemies. This plot is more thrilling than a roller coaster. As the sports car roared out of the Donovan estate, the rearview mirror reflected the image of my mother collapsing onto the steps. I rolled down the window, and the night wind rushed in, carrying the scent of freedom. A prophetic comment suddenly floated across the barrage. Waiting for the protagonist to start his own company and crush his old one. I glanced at it, a smirk playing on my lips as I floored the accelerator. Crush my old company? Boring. I have neither the time nor the inclination to get entangled with these troublesome people and their messes. Chapter 7. In the airport's very important person lounge, I held my passport in one hand and scrolled through photos of an island villa on my phone. Of course, my mother didn't give me the 500 million, but the savings in my personal accounts over the years were more than enough for me to live comfortably for the rest of my life. The barrage, however, was buzzing. Is the protagonist really bailing? Donovan Corp is doomed. Where's Victoria? Go after him. The thought had barely crossed my mind when the frantic click-clack of high heels echoed behind me, sounding like a death march. Victoria, her hair disheveled, rushed up to me, out of breath. She grabbed my arm, her nails digging into my flesh. Sincere, don't go, her chest heaved, and her eyes were as red as a rabbit's. I'll tell you everything. The barrage hit a fever pitch. She's finally going to confess. Protagonist, listen, there's a hidden story. The wife chasing crematorium countdown begins. I slowly pulled my arm away and tapped my phone screen, pausing the image of the blue sea and white sand. Talk. You have 30 seconds. My boarding call is about to start. Victoria was taken aback, then began speaking at the speed of a machine gun. I'm a corporate spy. The Vance family sent me to get close to you. They wanted to destroy Donovan Corp, but after I married you, I fell in love with you, I really did. Tears streamed down her face. The Vances had dirt on Dad. Some non-compliant dealings from years ago. I got close to Ethan to try and steal the evidence. I thought he was stupid and easy to fool, but he played me. The hotel was an act. It was all for you. For this family. She finished in one breath, staring at me intently, like a prisoner awaiting a pardon. The barrage was scrolling furiously. WTF, a huge plot twist. So the female lead really did have a sob story. Protagonist, hug her, forgive her. Get ready for the reunion, cue the confetti. I listened quietly, nodded. My expression as neutral as if I'd just heard a weather forecast. Then I took out my boarding pass and checked the time. Oh, you're done? Victoria was stunned. Did you understand? I understand. I cut her off, stuffed my phone back in my pocket and said flatly, spy falls in love with her target. Very inspiring. However, I held up my hands. Donovan Corp, it has nothing to do with me anymore. Shares are gone, job is gone, and my mother treats me like I don't exist. I tilted my chin towards the security gate. As for that so-called evidence, I let out a sneer. Take it or don't, I don't care. Whether Donovan Corp collapses or not is now my mother's and your boss Ethan's headache, not mine. The barrage stalled. That's it? He really doesn't care? He's abandoning Donovan Corp just like that? Victoria was completely dumbfounded, her lips trembling. You don't care about your parents' life's work? You don't care? Care? I looked at her as if she'd told the world's greatest joke. My mother adores you. She gave you the shares. My father's life's work? Oh, I'm currently suing my mother for my inheritance. 500 million is enough for me to lounge around for 10 lifetimes. I patted her rigid shoulder, my smile bright. So, Miss Ashton, Keep up the good work. I wish you success in destroying the Vance family and becoming a legendary female spy. Oh wait, a business legend. The barrage went completely insane, adding insult to injury. X10,086. Protagonist, let me just mock my ex-wife's dreams. Victoria's expression is cracking. Ha ha ha. Winning her back? Not happening. He burned that bridge and salted the earth. The boarding call announced my flight. I turned with a flourish and waved over my shoulder without looking back. Gotta go. Oh, by the way, I paused for a final blow. Next time you want to stage a melodrama, pick a time when I'm not catching a flight. This schedule is just too tight. The barrage exploded. He really left without a second glance. Victoria, did I just confess to a brick wall? The most hardcore protagonist in history, the Vance's Donovan Corp, were about to be destroyed. Protagonist, oh. I passed through security and tucked my boarding pass into my pocket. The sunlight at the end of the jet bridge was blinding, like an entrance to a new world. A final comment drifted across the screen. Warning, the island getaway chapter is now loading. I smirked. Finally, some peace and quiet. Chapter 8. Palm trees swayed and the sand was soft and fine. I was sprawled under a beach umbrella, sipping an iced coconut, sunglasses perched on my nose, lazily admiring the bikini-clad women surfing in the distance. The barrage floated before my eyes. Tisk tisk. The protagonist is living the life. The Donovan and Vance families are at war, and he's here checking out women? The #1 heartless bastard. My phone pinged with a news alert. Donovan and Vance corporate war reaches fever pitch. Vance Corp's capital chain snaps. On the brink of collapse, the accompanying photo was of Ethan Vance, looking haggard and trapped in his car by reporters, his face unshaven and his eyes like those of a stray dog. I swiped to read the article. Apparently Victoria had gone full-on vengeful mermaid, using core data she had somehow obtained from inside Donovan Corp, God knows how. She teamed up with a few of my father's old loyalists to launch a precision strike against Vance Corp's lifeline. The real kicker was in the last paragraph. After extensive investigation, it was confirmed that the dirt on my late father was something Ethan Vance had completely fabricated to manipulate Victoria. It never existed. The barrage instantly exploded. WTF? A shocking twist. So Victoria was played for a complete fool by that dog Ethan. She became a spy and was misunderstood, all for some fake evidence. The biggest love-struck fool of the year, no contest. Wake up. People, she chose to be a spy. First, she deserved it. I chewed on my straw, amused. This plot was more ridiculous than a daytime soap opera. Victoria? Certified idiot. Ethan Vance? Pure evil. A match made in hell. As I was chuckling, a video call popped up on my phone. It was from Victoria. The barrage immediately got excited. Here it comes, the female lead's confession hotline. Protagonist, answer it, let's hear her cry. The groveling tour is officially kicking off. I swiped my thumb. Call rejected. Silence. The next second, a flood of text messages came in. Sincere Ethan Vance lied to me. There was no evidence. Everything I did has become a joke. The Donovan family. It's taken a huge hit because of me, too. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Where are you? Can we start over? Every word dripped with blood, every sentence with despair. The barrage was in a frenzy. A late confession is worth less than dirt. Where was this energy before? Protagonist, don't you dare go soft. She ruined the Donovan family, and now has the nerve to ask for a second chance? I typed out a reply with one hand, slowly, key by key. Oh, noted. Start over? With you? Or with the mess at Donovan Corp? No thanks. Enjoy your revenge. After sending, I blocked her number. The world was quiet once again. The barrage was split between cheers and jeers. Ha ha ha, protagonist, don't touch me. Well done. That's too cold. Look how miserable she is. Miserable. She brought it on herself. Protagonist, you guys fight your war. I'll watch the pretty ladies. We don't have to bother each other. It's perfect. I tossed my phone into the sand, rolled over onto my stomach, and snapped my fingers at a blonde waitress. Another mojito, please. Double the rum. The sun warmed my back, and the sound of the waves was hypnotic. Blue skies, blue sea, and zero problems. Another comment floated by. The ultimate winner, the slacker king on the island. I closed my eyes and let out a contented hum. Winner or not, I didn't know. But one thing was for sure. Not being aggrieved felt damn good. Chapter 9. I was chewing on a straw, watching a blonde beauty teach me surfing hand signals, not that I had any intention of learning, when my phone vibrated. The barrage floated by. Incoming call from Mrs. Donovan. Warning, high energy ahead. Is this the scene where his mom admits she was wrong? I glanced down. It really was my mother. I answered lazily. Hello? The sharp, critical tone was gone from the other end. Her voice was hoarse, urgent, and tinged with tears. Sincere? Mom was wrong. I was so foolish, she sobbed. Please come back. The Donovan family can't hold on much longer. You're the only one who can save us. The barrage instantly blew up. She's finally admitting defeat. A little late for that. She's only bowing down for the company. Protagonist, say yes time for your triumphant return. I shifted into a more comfortable lounging position, the straw making a loud slurping sound. Oh? Wrong about what exactly? My mother choked for a second and rushed to say, I shouldn't have believed Victoria. I shouldn't have been biased towards her. I shouldn't have said those harsh things and threatened to disown you. The words tumbled out. I was just angry. You can't take angry words seriously, can you? You'll always be my son, the sole heir of the Donovan family. Angry words? I let out a sneer. It wasn't loud, but it was crystal clear and dripping with mockery. Not to be taken seriously? The barrage issued a warning. Here it comes, the verbal smackdown is on its way. His own mom is about to get wrecked. Nuclear launch detected. I spoke slowly. Mom, your angry words are quite valuable, you know. I counted on my fingers. One word, and my shares disappeared. A second, and my job was gone. A third, and you told me to get lost and stay out of your sight. A fourth, and you said you didn't have a son anymore. I paused, my smile turning colder. So your angry words are basically legally binding company directives, stamped and effective immediately, more powerful than a last will and testament. The other end of the line went silent. The barrage exploded. Ha ha ha, soul-crushing question. His mom, I have no rebuttal. Protagonist, master of logic, the karma came back faster than a hurricane. I continued my assault. Oh, right. Your angry words also had a bonus effect. They successfully made my innocent, self-sacrificing, wonderful wife the captain of Donovan Corp's sinking ship. Your words have the destructive power of a nuclear bomb. My mother was completely speechless, only her heavy breathing coming through the phone. She must have been green with rage. The barrage was in hysterics. A nuclear-level metaphor. Mrs. Donovan, I planted this mine myself. Victoria, who the hell wants to be captain of this sinking ship? So you see, Mom, my tone was light. I took your angry words very seriously. So seriously that I calculated my father's $580 million inheritance down to the last cent. And now you're telling me those words don't count? I scoffed. A little late, don't you think? You can't spill water and you can't mend a broken mirror. The words you threw out can't be taken back. I delivered my final verdict, hammering the nail in the coffin. You go ahead and stick with your precious daughter-in-law and your sinking ship, and I'll continue enjoying my sun, sand, waves, and cacti. I blew a sarcastic whistle into the phone. As for saving Donovan Corp, whoever made the mess can clean it up. Bye now, Sincere, don't hang up, Mom, really, she shrieked. I pressed my thumb down, call ended. Then I blocked her number. The motion was smooth and practiced. The world was quiet again. There was only the sound of the waves and a celebratory barrage. KO, the mother is utterly defeated. Protagonist, the damage isn't lethal, but the humiliation is off the charts. Mrs. Donovan, I regret everything. This mother-son relationship isn't even plastic, it's made of paper. The slacker king of the island, do not disturb. Busy vacationing. I shoved my phone into the pocket of my swim trunks and waved at the blonde beauty in the distance, signaling for her to make her movements bigger. The sun was perfect, the coconut was sweet, the Donovan family, let it burn. What's it got to do with me? Chapter 10. The island sun was so warm it felt like it was melting my bones. I was sprawled on a lounge chair by the pool, sunglasses covering my face, listening to the waves and contemplating whether to have lobster or grilled fish for lunch. The barrage was making its presence known, as usual. It's been a month. Is the protagonist really just going to retire here? Donovan Corp went bankrupt. The Vance family is finished too. Heard Victoria's on the verge of a breakdown, looking for someone everywhere. Who? The protagonist? She's just looking for more punishment, right? As if he'd talk to her. The thought had barely crossed my mind when the pool's gate slammed open with a loud clang. A figure rushed in, high heels clicking on the tiles, heading straight for me. I didn't need to see her face. That stumbling, desperate energy could only belong to Victoria. The barrage instantly perked up. WTF, she actually found him. The final boss of the island chapter has appeared. The wife-chasing crematorium has now reached the incineration stage. She stopped in front of my lounge chair, blocking my precious sunlight. I slowly slid my sunglasses down my nose a bit to look at her. Wow. She was painfully thin, her eyes sunken, her hair like dry straw. Not a trace of the pristine beauty she once was. She looked like a refugee. Sincere, her voice was hoarse and tearful. She dropped to her knees beside my chair with a thud, her hand reaching for my arm. "I finally found you. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Please, can you forgive me?" Tears flowed from Victoria's eyes like a broken faucet. "I love you from beginning to end. I've only ever loved you." The barrage split into factions. A late confession. Now she says she loves him. Where was this before? Protagonist, go soft on her. Look at the state she's in. Soft my ass. Those are crocodile tears. I dodged her hand, not wanting to get snot on me, and pushed my sunglasses back up. "Oh, you love me? That's some deep love you've got there." My tone was flat. Victoria nodded vigorously as if grasping a lifeline.
Yes, I admit it was fake at the start, but it became real. I swear I never did anything to betray you. I really didn't."
Her eyes were desperate as she tried to prove her innocence. Comments floated by. True, she was physically faithful. Even if nothing happened, she still agreed to his terms. Does holding hands and hugging count? Never did anything to betray me? I repeated her words, then suddenly smiled. I took my sunglasses off completely, sat up and looked down at her. "What about holding hands? Does that count?" Victoria froze. That was for the act. What about the hug?" I continued, my lips smiling but my eyes cold. "Was that also part of the act? An act for who? For me, your aggrieved husband?" Her face paled, her lips trembling. It was for the mission. Oh, I drew out the word as if I'd just had a great revelation. For the mission. A very convincing performance. I leaned forward, closing in on her tear-streaked face. My voice wasn't loud, but every word was a dagger to the heart. "Perhaps you got so deep into your role that you forgot you were still carrying the identity card of a married woman?" Boom, that sentence hit like a bomb. Victoria went completely rigid, her pupils dilating as the blood drained from her face. Her lips trembled, trying to form words, but no sound came out. It was as if that one light sentence had sucked away all her strength and all her excuses. The barrage went nuclear. WTF, the final blow. A married woman identity card. The protagonist is a master of twisting the knife. Victoria, CPU is melted. A soul-crushing question completely unblockable. It was an act is an excuse. Forgetting your identity is the original sin brilliant. Dead silence. There was only the sound of the waves and the rustling of palm leaves in the wind. Victoria sat slumped on the ground like a deflated balloon, her eyes empty. She had even forgotten to cry. After a long moment, she found her voice again, a desperate, sobbing whisper. Give me one more chance, just one last chance. I'm begging you." She was humbled to the dust. The barrage started up again. Will he give it to her? My heart is softening for a second. Don't do it, protagonist. Stay strong. I looked at this woman once proud, manipulative, and now as lowly as dust and felt nothing. If anything, she was a bit noisy. I lay back down, put my sunglasses on, and slurped the last of my coconut juice with a loud slurp. Spilled water can't be gathered. I spat out the words, crisp and final like tossing a stone. Victoria's body jolted. "Victoria!" My voice came out muffled from behind the sunglasses, but it was clear enough. "Let's not talk about love. It's nauseating to listen to." I paused, then added the final line, the definitive conclusion to this entire drama. Nobody lives for some stupid thing like love these days. Isn't it exhausting? The barrage went absolutely wild. A legendary quote, a quote for the ages. Nobody lives for love. The protagonist is the most clear-headed person on earth. Victoria, my entire belief system has collapsed. The final chapter is sealed. Aggrieved protagonist, clear-headed man, slacker king of the island evolution complete. Victoria made no more sounds. She was like a statue, frozen in the harsh sunlight by the pool, before she finally, dejectedly left. I didn't bother to watch. I rolled over, my back to her, and yelled towards the other end of the pool. "Waiter, another lobster, a big one." My voice was loud and full of life, a stark contrast to the cold indifference of moments before. The final barrage comments froze on the screen. The end. Winner, the carefree island king. Losers, the love-struck spy, the scumbag antagonist, the biased mom, and the two bankrupt companies. Protagonist, I told you all. Being blissfully single is the best. The waves continued to crash. The sun was perfect, and my lobster feast was on its way. Peace and quiet. The end.